I would log on to Twitter each morning and I'd look for people complaining about our competitors and saying how slow they were or how unreliable they were. And then I'd just reach out and say, look, hey, we're very new on the block, but you might like to check us out. And people really appreciated that honesty, because you could say we're the best solution around, but when people looked at your website, they were going to see that you were really quite new in comparison. So there's no point trying to lie. Just be very upfront and honest and say, look, we're new to this game. Like this is what we've got. This is what we do now. This is where we want to head. Like here's our values. Like we believe in high reliability. We believe in great customer support. We believe in beautiful design. And then people are like, well, it's kind of better than what I'm using now. I'm going to take a punt on this. And so we picked up about 10, I think it was 10, 20 customers like that. And that really sort of started the snowball effect, because then they started, telling their mates, and then we got more customers like that. Then we got more links, and we perhaps went up in the search engines and so on, and things really built from there. So that's how we started it. And then today, our biggest source of new customers is still existing customers referring us their friends. And that's really unusual for a SaaS. And that's just because we've really focused on the fundamentals. We still believe in great design. We still believe in great customer support. And everybody that leaves SendOwl, when you close an account, there's a little box that says, hey, would you just mind telling us while you're closing your account? And we perhaps lose one, maybe in a bad month, 2 accounts to competitors. It's very, very rare we lose to a competitor, but we get a lot of customers coming in from a competitor. And that's really part of our philosophy. Is like, if we're going to do something, we're going to do it really well. We're not going to half bake something. We're not going to market spin the hell out of it and brand it so that people think it's brilliant and then they're really disappointed when they actually get it. Like, we're going to do things really well. We're going to execute extremely well on it. So we just became known as a very reliable, very stylish platform to use. And people started coming to us from that. And as time has gone on, we've introduced other channels. We introduced paid advertising, search engine optimization, content marketing, etc. But the number of customers that we get from other customers is still our biggest single source.
So, you brought up something really interesting right now. You just said your competitors, and this was something that I was going to talk about next. When you create a software company like this, how do you protect kind of the idea from having a competitor just kind of say, okay, we already have an audience, we don't execute as well as these new guys on the block, but we can probably tweak our software to do something similar. How do you kind of prevent that from happening, or for someone to kind of jump into your space having an existing audience and kind of just improving based on the technology you put forward?
Yeah, so it's very difficult in the software world. And at one point, there was a new competitor that came along after us, and their first version of their design was almost a perfect carbon copy of ours. It was absolutely disgraceful. So one of our customers actually alerted us to it. I mean, we had no idea. So it's very difficult, but the problem is they don't understand the why. So it won't work out for them long term. If they don't understand the why something's designed like that, or why something's executed like that, then as time evolves and you've had new features and thinking evolves, then they're kind of lost. They're like, well, it's always been like that way. And it very quickly starts to show. And so I think people can detect that. But it is, in the software world, it's very hard to stop people copying you. So you've just got to execute better than them. You've got to add new functionality. You've got to make sure that the functionality that you add is better than theirs. It works more efficiently. It's nicer designed. Like it's the same themes that keep cropping up over and over again. But it's I think people get a little bit hung up on their competitors and like what they're doing. Like, you want to keep an eye on them, but you don't want to be obsessing over every single move they do, or you end up like losing your guiding star. You want to decide like, what's your angle on this bit of software? What's your angle in this space? And stick to that and go after that. So for SendOwl, it was, we went after small businesses initially. One of our competitors, Gumroad, went after like entrepreneurs, like single people that were trying to write ebooks. Different people in the space have gone after different sectors. And as we've expanded and grown, we've gone after additional sectors. But it's much easier when you start out to just pick one area, one customer base, one sector, whatever you want to call it, and just go after them, because you'll be able to get the features that they love and they want, and then they'll become very enthusiastic about your product and talk about it.
So, you brought up a lot of good points. When you look at your competitors, though, today, since you are a much bigger business today and you are like fighting for market share like most businesses, how has that viewpoint changed today compared to what it was then? Because obviously you were small then, but now if a customer came and copycatted you and put enough money, that would change, the playing field for you. So tell me a little bit about, like, how do you approach a competitor to understand if it is a competitor indeed or not?
Yeah, so I think the amount of functionality that SendOwl has in it now is really quite large. So if somebody was starting from scratch, like, they'd have quite a long ramp up time to catch up. But if someone like Google turned around tomorrow and decided to do it for free, then that would have a serious impact on our business. But it's never as bad as you think. So we integrate in with Shopify. So Shopify is the biggest e-commerce system in the world. But you can't do digital goods on Shopify. So if you want to do digital goods, you have to use one of the apps, of which SendOwl is the highest rated app. Now, about 3 years ago, Shopify decided they were going to create a little app themselves that was free. So they weren't charging for it, and you could do digital downloads on Shopify. And they did it, but it obviously didn't have the functionality of SendOwl. It wasn't core to their business. They didn't have the sort of focus on reliability or design that we did. So now if you're a big Shopify seller, like, they recommend still using SendOwl. So we've lost customers as a result of that, but the customers we've lost are perhaps at the lower end of the spectrum. They're not doing a huge volume of digital goods. So it has an impact, and you continually got to, like, innovate to offset that and find new markets and expand your product offerings. So you've got like a bigger sector of people, and overall your business still continues to grow. But the bottom line is, in software online, you can't ever stop that. You can't ever stop what your competitors are going to do. And on the internet, people are willing to do stuff for free. Like, you don't. If you're a pub down on the corner, like, and the competitor opens up around the corner, then roughly they're going to be charging the same prices, because you can't run a pub and give beer away for free. But on the internet, like, these companies like Google have got massive pockets, and the VC firms got massive pockets, and they might fund startups with $10 million to go after your sector. So you can't stop it. You shouldn't waste energy or time worrying about it or trying to stop it, but you can just focusing on being the best that you can, and know that customers have loyalties, and as long as you're doing a great job, and no one's doing it for free and a much better offering than you, then you're probably going to be okay.